All right, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought maybe I'd taken a break here and, after having Pitbull, Gary Wolf, maybe we'd just figure out, you know what, I'll see you next week. Nope, not so fast, ladies and gentlemen, because I got a Bitcoin billionaire who's got plenty to talk about here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform most certainly where all music and wrestling matters. And our guest is a very, very busy man upcoming. He's going to talk about that. No, he's not just going to talk about a wedding invitational, which now is fully set. He's going to talk about a match where, let's just say, he's going to have maybe a headline of his own, but will that headline for him include a penitentiary match? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about plus a number of different topics coming up here, and maybe we'll even see some different people out in the chat, maybe have a few things to say directly to our guest. We'll make an announcement about somebody else coming on here who has quite a history with our guest, and let's just say defeated him kind of controversially last season to end things in DBW, and this season, boy, was he in the middle of it. I'll most certainly ask our guest about that, plus who knows whatever else. But since our guest hasn't been here in a while, usually he's here like every other week, but now he hasn't been here in, 5-6 weeks, I must give him that introduction on a platform that he and DBW most certainly helped build, Sportzwire Radio, inching ever closely to 1,500 subscribers. And yeah, just coming off an interview with some guy, Gary Wolf. I must give our guest that introduction here, as I stated, in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott. Let's get rocked, baby, and start this show off in style for round 2 of tonight's Sportzwire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, Sports Show. A man that is a Bitcoin billionaire. A man that is about to change the wrestling history as we know it. Upcoming this summer with what he plans to make the greatest wrestling super show in history. A man that's also soon to be married. His name is, simply put, the Bitcoin billionaire, my friend, how are we doing?
Oh man, Tom, it's great to be back. And I will say, you would do great in England for some of those soccer games. Like the way you were doing that, it reminded me of like watching an Arsenal game on television.
My buddy is a Tottenham fan, Steven Sappers.
Oh no.
He's a big, and he's always talking about this. You gotta go there and do the intros like that. He's a Tottenham Hotspurs fan, Steven Sappers. A longtime buddy, my former employer, actually, but my former employer 4 times over. Well, he ran for office 4 times, and he employed me 4 times, Republican and Democrat. So at least one, one over the other. But yeah, I've heard that before. But why are you so cold? First of all, what's the matter? It's May 9th. Are
No,
you in winter here in
look,
Pennsylvania? I mean, I'm in shorts
no,
and
it's
don't
I
phase me.
always I always wear the jacket, and right now where I'm at, it's not too cold, not too hot. It's not too uncomfortable to wear the jacket, so I figured I'd wear the jacket, you know?
All right. Well, I mean, certainly, we'll certainly keep that in mind. And I see the chat is starting to arrive, which is a good thing. And I hope you are doing well. And there's a lot to talk about. And I think I want to talk here in the current events. DBW is returned. I'm going to make an announcement here in a few minutes for a guest that you have certainly a lot of history with that's coming on here 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But in the meantime, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform, you, Chase Wakefield, and DBW most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. I hear you have a qualifier match coming up here for a penitentiary match, and tell us about it because it might, let's
Oh,
just say, create a headline.
man, definitely a headline indeed, because I will be going one-on-one against the headline Aaron Blaze in a match that if you would have told me a year ago that it would be happening, I wouldn't believe you. And Aaron
Yeah,
Blaze
you might have
is,
had to have gone to retracted company out there to get that.
yeah, basically, but Aaron Blaze has been all over the country. As you know, he's
Yeah.
currently up at
Indeed.
BTW doing
Yes.
his thing. And he's going to be at the Wedding Invitational, and he'll
Yes.
be facing D'Angelo Flame there. And one of the things that I do give credit for Aaron Blaze is the willingness to learn and the drive and the hunger that this kid has. When I first met him, I always had kind of a stigma when it came to other people saying Aaron Blaze is this, Aaron Blaze is that. I kind of came into it with kind of a different vision of what I met at DBW. And when I met him and saw how he was learning from guys like Jacob Bryan and Aaron Jones, he really came to play, and I really admire and respect how much he has done so far in DBW, not in the ring but outside the ring as well.
Let me ask you a question, and we'll certainly get into that in a minute. But had you met him before? I know you both are Pennsylvania guys. Let me ask you, have you guys ever met before?
No, we haven't met in person. We've talked on like social media and stuff in the past, but
Mhm.
and up until unfinished business, I've never met him face to face, and he definitely proved a lot of people wrong, and definitely impressed a lot of us in that locker room.
For sure. We'll certainly, I'm sure, talk a lot about that in a few minutes. But let's get down to business because you do have a match with a guy that, in some ways, is kind of like you. You know, you both certainly, in terms of your in ring prowess, have a lot of similarities. Certainly, you guys have certainly made waves in a lot of different ways. But really, inside the ring, you have a lot to prove here. You know, last season you definitely struggled in DBW. You stepped away from the ring for a while. You didn't know what your future was. You famously came on here and you sounded like other people that say, "Yeah, I'm done." And then you came back and you had a match with certainly that the man that's going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. Silas Walker did not think you deserved. He famously said you didn't deserve to have a wedding. You didn't deserve a wedding invitational to boot, and that was a controversial match in itself with the finish. And you have a lot to prove here because your struggles have been well documented inside the ring here the last year.
Yeah, I definitely can agree to that. And I definitely, during the off season of DPW, I definitely sat back and realized what my future was going to be. And if I was on the same track that I was at when it came to last season, I'm not going to make it anywhere in DBW. So I think for this season, I really believe that I am going to step up to the plate and definitely have a different result than I did last year. And I truly think this might be my last chance when it comes to being maybe in the top spot in DBW. If I don't succeed against Aaron Blaze, I'm gonna have to relook at myself again and see maybe this isn't the place for me. Maybe I can't hang with the guys at DBW. And that's definitely not going to be my goal. My goal is to, of course, make it to that penitentiary match and wrestle for the World Extreme Championship at Total Domination 10 and maybe even win it at Total Domination 10, become the new World Extreme Champion. And when it comes to the penitentiary match, it's going to be if I do make it past Aaron Blaze, it'll be the first time I ever was a part of DBW's penitentiary match.
What does that mean to you in your career to have that opportunity, since it's something you haven't done?
I think it's like I said a little bit. I think it's a true now or never moment. If I can't beat Aaron Blaze, if I can't make it on to the penitentiary match, what do? I have a dream match coming up in August, and if I can't even win against Aaron Blaze, am I even truly ready to face a guy like Matt DeMorris?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because your best friend Aaron Jones defeats Aaron Blaze here. So if you can't defeat Aaron Blaze, especially since your best friend just defeated him, I mean, what is there for you in DBW going forward?
I think honestly, the only thing left for me is a reality check. I think it's
You maybe
definitely going to
want to
be
film a reality show with the wedding behind the scenes. You might want to put a
maybe.
vlog out there for that. Maybe that's what you should be spending the next 3 months doing, because I mean, Aaron Jones defeated Aaron Blaze, and he defeated him. Let's be honest, he defeated him in rather almost as quick as a New York minute. Yes, it was competitive, but there's no question that this match lasted, relatively 4 or 5 minutes. And if you can't beat him, I mean, maybe you should just go back to filming vlogs and such, because he's just come into DBW, and he's going to look to make a name for himself. He's going to look to come here, and you did kind of say it. He's got some things to prove, I'm sure. There's no question. Just like you, people have said things about you on here, and there's people that have said things about him. So really, if you think about it, it's kind of a must-win match for both of you guys.
I definitely can agree with that. I think in his case, since he just came into DBW, he wants to prove a point that he wants to stay with a lot of the talent and be able to
Yeah, he
win.
hasn't been in talent. Listen, I mean, let's be honest. And, DBW's roster, I think, is a bit of a step up for him, compared to some places he's been to. Obviously, ROEW, he has been in there in the ring with some talent that I think is on par with DBW. But, I think in certainly other places he's been, I think that this roster, in experience inside a ring, objectively speaking, this is the most talented roster he's been a part of. This is a roster that guys have done a lot. Guys have paid their dues. Guys have been out there. Ace Christian is all over the place in the independents. He's here. We know about Mr. Judgment. Obviously, Brandon, our champion. Aaron Jones has been in there with the Barbarian. I mean, a lot of guys here. Zachary Depew has had certainly quite a run. I mean, this is a roster. Colton Lee's in the chat. He's certainly made some waves the past year and a half. And I think for him, this is a test. Can he really hang with these guys? Can he hang with these people? Because, BTW, we work with them here on Sportswire, but they're just getting their feet wet in the ring aside from RJS. So they're obviously learning. ROEW, certainly guys, again, I think have had the experience. Mr. Delta's, you've worked with him, so that's certainly different. CJ has been there, and Cash Carter and Jason Storm, they're comparable, but that's it really. That's the only company that he's been in. And really, that was a short time he was in ROEW. So I really think this is a big test for Aaron Blaze to see, can he compete with a roster like this one.
I could definitely agree with that. And as in my case, it's almost kind of the same situation, because even though I've been with DBW since the start, the beginning of DBW and where we're at now is two different beasts.
Oh yeah,
and
even the last 2 years. I mean, you guys have like probably one of the best rings out there. Period. I mean, it's we talked about this several times on Sportswire.
Yes, and I think for me, it's my final chance of proving why I belong to even be in the same locker room as a lot of these guys. let alone chase for a championship. No pun intended, because my name's Chase. But um, yeah, it's mostly, I think both of us have a point to prove, and even though we respect each other immensely, I think at the end of the day we're gonna realize what's at stake and what's ahead, and whoever decides to go on top, whether it be me or Aaron Blaze, I hope they're ready for what's coming up next, because we have the penitentiary match at Tour Domination
Absolutely.
10.
And you talked about that's something you want to be a part of. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you defeat Aaron Blaze, right? Let's say you defeat him here coming up. Do you think that that's something you're ready for, though?
Man, it's crazy because years and years ago, when I was Adam Anderson, I was always known for taking it to the extreme in a sense, and doing some moves and some spots that are not a lot of people would want to do. And it's almost like if I win this match and in preparation for the penitentiary match, I'm gonna have to dig back down to that Adam Anderson era and be unkillable.
Sure, sure. But I mean, it's obviously a very competitive match, and there's obviously people that are going to be in there that you're going to be outgunned figuratively and literally, and you're going to deal with a lot coming up. So it'll definitely be a big test for you. And I would have to think that this is at the top of the list for you in goals this year, because this is really an important test. And in order for you to get ready for it, you do have to beat Aaron Blaze here coming up to get there.
It's definitely on my goals list. And my main goal for DBW this year is to get back to what I used to be in terms of success and get championship gold, and it starts with defeating Aaron Blaze at
It's been a while since
Fallout.
you held gold, and you had the Hub City title, but that's a while ago now. I mean, we're talking
Yes.
that's over a minute ago. I mean, you have to get that, but you talked about the World Extreme Championship, and that's Sammy Nothing's title. And I mean, are you prepared to take that from him?
I truly don't know if I'm at this point prepared for this, because it's gonna me and Aaron Blaze, it's gonna be the first time I'm back at DBW since since the last year, and
Like you
um
had a match you lost controversially, and some people have spoke about it. I
and I've
mean,
always been on kind of a like downhill in a sense when it comes to wins and losses, and I think if I do beat Aaron Blaze, I'm gonna really need some preparation for a guy like Sammy Nothing, who is basically the king of the World Extreme
he's been very
division.
impressive. I mean, he's been very impressive. I mean, the show itself was very impressive, but he was at the center of it. His certainly run to end the season and to start the season, and we see it here coming up. I mean, guy is not going to want to let go of that championship without a fight, and he's going to have that in a penitentiary match. And
Yes,
you know,
uh, Sammy is one crazy sadistic man, and it's almost like you have to get onto his level.
but that's what the World Extreme Championship's done. You know that. Those who've
Yes.
held that title, I mean, we look at what Roland Havoc did with that championship. You look at a lot of the prior champions. That's kind of what that's been in DBW. You know that better than anybody.
Yeah, I definitely, since I've been in DBW, I've seen Sammy Nothing go from uh, Samael from Gas Chamber, that used to be his name at the beginning. And I've seen him at the beginning of his career, and I've seen him where he's at now,
Heretics
and
in the tag team championships. Yep.
tag team champs all over New York and Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
They've had success everywhere as a team. These two who are actually fighting now. Um,
And you
but
are wearing a jacket, which will somebody looks like you. Someone that looks like you is wearing the same jacket.
oh wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
someone that looks like you. You might maybe is it an
It's
AI
it's like
version
a
of you, by the
it's
way?
like a doppelganger. But no, Sammy Nothing's whole progression as a wrestler has been one of the best progressions I've seen in the DBW locker room. I don't think anyone has progressed as well as that man, from his humble beginnings up in the Wilkes-Barre area to being the king of the World Extreme division here in DBW. And I'm nevertheless, if I do take part in this penitentiary match, I'm I'm gonna give him the unkillable that I used to be, and I'm just nevertheless really excited for this opportunity if it presents.
Sure, and we are here with the Bitcoin billionaire Chase Wakefield. We're talking all things related to DBW here for a little bit. Also, if you're here, please hit the sub button for DBW. Congratulations to DBW, 4,000 plus
Yes.
subscribers. A tremendous accomplishment. On to 5,000. I do agree with the Facebook post, and we'll certainly get there, and maybe we'll get there this year. 4,000's very impressive, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally. We're all music and wrestling matters. Let me ask you a question on a slight detour, but DBW related. What is your thoughts right now between Aaron Jones and Brandon Castelli, that crash collision course?
Oh
What's your
man,
thoughts on that?
it's so wild to see because these two men are actually two of my groomsmen for my wedding,
Yeah.
and it's kind of awkward right now because they're beefing right now, and me, it's like, man, do I have to like bar them from the wedding if it gets too serious?
Well,
Like,
Silas famously didn't want you to show up to your own wedding, and now you might have to have your
and guess
grooms.
what? I'm still showing up. I'm still showing
Oh,
up
you
to
are?
keep them
That's
at
really,
the
that's a good
Morse.
idea. That's a great idea of you to still show up to your wedding.
I would hope so.
But yeah, I mean, just those men. I mean, Brandon, no question, has fought very hard to keep that championship. Colin Graves, the end of last season, rolling havoc here again. But Aaron Jones, I mean, you know him better than anybody. I mean, Brandon went through a lot. It took a lot out of him to keep the title and get the title from Mr. Judgment. We mentioned Roland Havoc just before, Colin Graves. I mean, Brandon has definitely had a lot of tests here as champion these last several months. But, I mean, Aaron Jones, could this be his toughest test yet?
It really could be because as we've seen how Brandon Castelli became world champion, he
It was
fought
emotional. It was a very
it
emotional moment.
emotional, and the match itself was one of the most hard-hitting matches that I've seen for that championship in a long time. And it shows the spirit that Brandon Castelli has and the willpower that he's going to go through to be able to be champion and to hold a championship. And he's been waiting too damn long to become a champion, and he's not going to let just anybody be able to beat him. And even though Aaron Jones is one of the toughest men that I know, I think Brandon Castelli still could come up on top. It's just I believe in Brandon a lot more, and it's kind of crazy thinking, Aaron Jones is one of my best friends. Jack Delta has my pop figure of him.
Yeah,
Um,
he's here. We'll
so,
say hello to him a little bit. Yep.
so it's really hard for me to judge on who I want to win for this match. And with how Aaron Jones has been this new season, he's had a whole new attitude, and I don't
Well,
think
can
it's
you
something
blame
that
him in one sense? I mean, he wants to be in big matches. He's not just coming here to be wrestling, with all due respect, guys that are just starting out in DBW, like an Aaron Blaze, or what he was kind of doing toward the end of last season. I mean, Aaron Jones, you know him. He's the real boss man. I mean, he wants to go out there. This is a man that has competed against WWE legends. This is a man that has made quite a name for himself. He's built companies. I mean, this is a man that he wants to be a player, and he's going to do anything by anything, any measures at this point. That's what he's going to do.
yeah, and it's truly I think he's just becoming an ultimate opportunist, I would say,
You
because
of all people saying that, you of all people.
I know it's profound, but I truly think that Aaron Jones had enough with what position he was, and he saw the opportunity to get to the top of the whole company, and he just took it. And even though it's in a way that I may not agree with, it's at this point anything that you can do, you should do it. It's I just think even though the actions that he did was unjustified, I think that he made the right call in trying to go to the top because he's definitely someone that deserves to be in the top. He's been in the top.
Yes, exactly. No, I agree with you. Listen, his resume, this is a man that has been in there with WWE legends. This is a man that has made quite a name for himself in the independent wrestling circuit. This is a man that has traveled at lengths, and he certainly should want the DBW championship. And do you think he went too far?
Oh, I I think he in my personal opinion, I think he did kind of go over the line of what I think is too far. But at the end of the day, it was an open opportunity. And if I was the Chase Wakefield a year or two ago, probably would have done the same thing. So I can understand where his head is at, but there was just a few things that I've seen that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth.
Well, obviously, Brandon's got obviously more than a
He
salad.
definitely has way more than a sour taste in that mouth.
Yeah, he's definitely certainly going to take a minute here to get up. And but if you are here, by the way, before we do anything else, you should hit the sub button for DBW. And DBW obviously has a lot more stuff coming up. They have a YouTube channel, they have a Facebook page, they have an Instagram page now that is certainly heating up, and quite the design here. Really like it. A lot of
I
people
love
have
that
seen.
design.
I think the season, I mean, a lot of people have seen the debut of the season. If you'd like to join DBW, you'd like to go give them a sub, I would certainly appreciate that you do. They get 4,000 plus subs, and let's get them to 5,000, 6,000, so on and so on. And they'll have a lot more shows coming up. You can go to their social media pages to check that out. But we are here with Chase Wakefield, the Bitcoin billionaire. Let me ask you one more question, DBW related, on your end before I get to the chat, because I do want to get to the chat. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you also about your wedding, which is still apparently going on, despite you might have to find groomsmen. But what would it mean to you? You know, the last year we talked about it. We talked about your struggles. You haven't really won anything in a while, figuratively and literally. You weren't even on the card this past weekend. But what would it mean to you to come back here, defeat Aaron Blaze, get into that penitentiary match? We know that Mr. Judgment's already a part of that. We know the kind of mood that he's in these days. But what would it mean to you to win the DBW World Extreme Championship?
Oh, uh, it's been a long time coming, I would say. Um, Back when I did win the World Extreme Championship years and years ago, back when we had a DIY made ring. And that was the only other time I even had an opportunity to be in a World Extreme Championship match. So it's been 5 to 6 years since I even had an opportunity like this. And to go out there and win it is kind of, it's going to definitely close a book in my end. All the past issues that I've had, all the things that I've done, it's all going to be gone once I win that championship. And I think it's going to put a big relief on me. There's a lot of pressure going
And
on.
Janie wants you to win too, because she don't want you going into this wedding on a losing streak. She doesn't want you to, being thrown around here as almost you're in these matches, you don't belong in them, you can't win anything. I mean, I'm sure we know that she's watching these matches, and she certainly wants you to actually win something for a change.
Yeah, I think this is more or less a proving point. I want to prove to everyone that I deserve to be here, and winning that championship is definitely going to be a big proving point for everyone. And being the new king of extreme is going to be something that I think sounds great, by the way. The king of extreme, Chase Wakefield. Um, but I think it's more or less just it will show how far I progressed as a person and as a wrestler. And whether if I even make it to that penitentiary match, I'm giving my 110% in every single performance I do this year. And I'm going to prove everyone who thinks of me indifferently wrong. And I will go up on top and I will be that World Extreme Champion.
No question about that. You could even make the comparison that, listen, Silas Walker, right? He came onto the show last year, and we know that Silas Walker was basically I know you hate me saying this, he's here tomorrow night, but you were basically in his shoes last year, and we saw what happened. We saw how he saw things differently. He applied himself differently. Look at where he is today. He's the longest reigning champion in DBW currently. I mean,
Unfortunately.
well, you may say that, but you may want to be where he is right now, because look at where he was to start the season. He came on this platform. His struggles were well documented. And look at where he is today. He's the man right now, pound for pound. He's the best wrestler in terms of championship days held of anybody in DBW right now. Look at what people can say, whatever they want. Him and Gainer, he's going to talk a lot about that tomorrow night. His own struggles with different matches. Your match certainly one of them, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, he's the guy right now that holds a championship longer than anybody in this company. And if you right now want to be anywhere, you'd want to be like him, because he, as I stated, was where you are today 1 year ago.
You can definitely say that me and him are we're on the same path.
It's literally the same thing. He hadn't won a match in what? Over a year? This was a guy that held some championships. He had success, but people felt like he got that match with Judgment, and people didn't really think, well, why did he deserve that match? But look at his turn right after that. And I mean, ask Colton Lee deep down about that. I mean, he's here in the chat. I mean, so you want to be like where Silas Walker is right now.
I mean, on paper, yes, but the ways that he became successful is the ways I don't want to become successful. And
but win's a win, though. It doesn't matter. They
a
don't
win may be a win, but I promised to myself to do always the right thing. When I came back to wrestling, I was going to do the right thing, right all the wrongs, and have everyone believe in me again. And it is a slow, painful path, I would say, but I think truly at the end of the day, I think people have now started to really turn a page on me and really start believing in me. And I truly need all that belief and all that crowd energy that has been in DBW. I need that so I can actually go out there, become energized, because I love feeling what the fans throw out. And
absolutely, no, I agree with you on that.
With all that energy and with the support behind everyone, I believe that at the end of the day, we might see a new Water Stream champion.
Well, you're going to need the fans. You're going to need their support, because first, before you get there, you got to have a match here with the one and only Aaron Blaze, the headliner. We're going to see that take place very soon on the DBW YouTube page. And certainly, Chase Wakefield, you are slowly starting to grow your hair back. Maybe that's going to give you that, because it is to always
maybe it was the hair.
You know what was who was it in the Bible that they said when they lost their hair, they lost their strength? I forget somebody. You know, we had Justin Parsley was here yesterday. We were quoting Bible scriptures.
He probably would know.
Well, we had Omen Black, or a vessel named Omen Black, or looked like Omen Black. We had Il Drago and Justin Parsley with Bible scriptures here on Sportzwire. So I'm sure somebody will check that. But there was a story in the Bible of somebody that like lost their hair and they needed to get it back. But maybe that's what it is. The hair's coming back, and maybe it's going to slowly help you get back to where you are. But let's get to the chat here. Thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. And let's get to the first one. We have a bunch of comments here, and I know Mr. Wakefield is going to enjoy some of them. Zilla is here. I saw Zilla today in the ROEW stream. I saw her in mine with Gary Wolf, and now she's here with yours, Chase Wakefield. And hello. And I bought you some time because I was setting up the link a little longer than I expected, because I just took longer than expected. And there he is. And he just says that though. Who knows? Maybe you'll see him. I don't know. But hello to the headline, Aaron Blaze. Yes, and she's not happy about what happened on ROEW today, because Jacob Collins defeated Cash Carter for the Prestige Championship, and she was disappointed because she's Team Natural Selection. And
that's unfortunate.
And the man that is here, that is certainly he's kind of doing some of the things that Silas Walker eventually told him he was going to do. And not to compare Silas Walker to Nostradamus, but Colton Lee is here, and he said, Aaron Blaze and DBW is best for business. I mean, well, right now, I mean, the views are up, and right now, I mean, people are talking, and you're the one that's going to be dealing with more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be good for you, or you hope
Maybe.
that.
I mean, making another headline of me defeating Aaron Blaze sounds a lot better than Aaron Blaze defeating me.
Well, he
So
got off to a very strong start in BTW. He came in there and, he won his first few matches and got himself a world title shot in BTW. And he's going to look to try to do the same thing. He's going to look to try to pick himself off the mat with the match with Aaron Jones and get a victory over you and get himself to some gold, get himself in a big match. I think it's going to be certainly an interesting to see who needs it more, who wins, and pay-to-play wrestler, no hate, you do Blaze. Okay, thank you, Ox, for that. I'm going to move on. We appreciate that very much. Hello to the Heartless Sheriff Colton Lee, and hello to Ox McCoy. Ox and Cato is certainly a match I'm very excited about here tomorrow.
I love Ox McCoy. He's definitely a great talent that I've been
I
watching.
can't wait for Cato and Ox McCoy tomorrow. Cato was here last night on Sportswire, and between the two of them, they have like 40 years of experience in the ring, and they're squaring off. Yeah. But speaking of people that would know a thing or two about Bible scriptures, he says this, though. Chase Bergeron. I mean,
oh, man.
But your name's Wakefield. That's not true. Your name is Wakefield.
Yeah. We haven't discussed last name changes yet.
Now, you do know that some men do take the women's name now.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but we'll see. We'll see.
I will say
I like Wakefield a lot.
I will say this, and not to discriminate toward anybody that does that. We certainly appreciate and respect anybody that chooses that. But me coming from Brooklyn, if I was going to take, let's say when I get married, if that time comes and I take my wife's name, knowing people that I know, they're going to look at me like, they're going to say, what's the matter with you? Forget about it. Get out of here. What's the matter? Which I can hear it already. So that's not going to happen with me. But anybody that does, we do respect that. And if you're happy, God bless you. But speaking of people that I do know that eventually may return to the ring, because I saw his post on social media, and he's here right now in the chat. Blaze has always had an underdog feeling, no matter how big or small the company is. You want to root for him regardless of where they decide to stick to him. That's coming from the man that wrestled Aaron Blaze about 9 or so months ago. That's Mr. Jack Delta. And what is your thoughts on that, sir?
I definitely can agree to what Jack Delta said. And when he came out of those curtains for the first time, the crowd reaction was immense. People did not know who Aaron Blaze was at the start, but when he came out and showed who he was, people couldn't do anything but cheer for him. And it definitely opened my eyes to how popular Aaron Blaze can be and how well off he can be in DBW.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, Aaron has been on here many times. You have him in your wedding invitation. We're going to talk about that once we get through with the rest of the chat. And I've known Aaron Blaze for a while. I've known him in some companies we shall not name, almost like in baseball, to be named later. And I think what he has done traveling, and I think that he has gone out there and put his body on the line. And I know the bus rides. I know what he's went through. I've known him for a while. And I think it's great. I think it's exciting to see people wrestle in different places. I think the BTW experience has been great. I think it's gotten BTW to see some different people out there. They're going into a ring. And I think him being here in DBW, I think certainly what he did in ROEW last year. And I think it's great. I mean, listen, I think we should all want to see people wrestle in anywhere that they should want to be. And I think that he wants to be in DBW. And I'm looking forward to seeing your match. Only for you, you really need a victory, though. But, we'll have to certainly come back to that. But thank you so much, everybody here. And a man that I did sort of see pop up at Unfinished Business. And hope your night's going well. And, yeah, we're doing great. Nice to see you. And Chase, you're man of a chunt guy I've seen before. Would you like to elaborate on that, sir?
This is member the Pete's flock. Sneaky Pete has a flock.
Yes.
And his name is Chunt. And He's a very interesting guy. The first time I seen Chunt, he actually stole my tights from my bag and just wore them, you know? And I thought it was kind of weird. He also had like a sheets bag as like trunks. It's very odd. And then he had like this bobber thing on his forehead. And Chunt is a very strange entity. And I don't really have too many comments about Chunt.
So,
Hopefully I don't run into him somewhere. I might have a bad experience if I run into a guy like Chunt, if he even is. I don't know what he is. He might be some form that we've never seen before, but Chunt is. There's a lot you could say, but
yeah.
there's so little you know about him.
Well, that's why we'll certainly move on to the next comment. Hello to Jack Delta. Yes, hello to Jack. We hope that he is doing very well. I do want to say hello to a man that is in your chair a few times recently, Mr. Comatose, and a man that has interviewed you here, Mr. Chase
Oh
Wakefield. Hello.
yes,
Yes, a man that has interviewed you, and
it's unfortunate his channel got terminated, and I wish I could go back and see the interview again. Um, but I had a really fun time with Comatose, and it's definitely something. If he wants to run it back, I'm all for it.
well, I mean, listen, you never know. I mean, listen, maybe he'll resume the podcast again, or maybe he'll just take over my chair. Maybe it's time to retire. And I mean, maybe he'll be the man to fill my shoes. I mean, maybe it's time to retire. And maybe that's why he's here. He wants to maybe get the job. I mean, but yeah, I did want to show for the audience. We were in blabbermouth.net this week. I
Hmm.
appreciate them for quoting my interview with Mark Kendall, great white guitarist. And I don't know if you could afford to have the band play at your wedding, but they are taking dates. They are taking bookings. I mean,
You
you
never
might
know.
need my bank account for this one, but it was a great honor to have him on, and a lot of people watched the interview. I appreciate their support. I appreciate the band's management company for looking at Sportswire Radio and wanting to come here. And you can check it out. I'm going to put the link here for everybody out there. If you haven't watched the interview, or if you haven't seen the link on Blabbermouth, I would recommend it. It's the third time we're in Blabbermouth in about 2 months, and we have more covering. So definitely check that out. And thank you, everybody, for their support. And we'll move on. Speaking of people that you are going to see, which we'll be talking about in a few minutes, Mr. D'Angelo LaFlame, who's going
Oh
to be in
yes.
Palo. He's in Palo tomorrow. You're going to get him in your wedding in about 3 months from now. And the Real Raw Energy wants to say hello. You know, it's ironic to me, Mr. Wakefield, because two men that haven't been on this platform in a long time, two people that probably are two of the more anticipated people from our scene to come back here, are here in the same chat. Jack Delter and D'Angelo LaFlame. We haven't heard them on Sportswire in many moons, and they're two people that I'm sure people are eagerly anticipating to want to hear. And here they are in the chat paying their respects to you, sir.
I mean, it's just the Wakefield effect, you know. Everyone's excited for the wedding invitational. Everyone wants to know what I had to say because it seems like
Maybe
every
we should
time.
have just had you and forget about Gary Wolf. Maybe I should have just told Gary Wolf, you know what, man?
No, man. Gary Wolf is a local legend around our area,
Yes.
and he what he has done for the wrestling business is
Yeah.
huge, and he'll always be a legend no matter what people think or say about him.
No, a lot
Because
of people think highly of him. I mean,
some people think highly. I've heard other people don't. It's just one
I
of
have
those
heard a few
things.
things. Yeah, I've heard a few
It's just
things.
one of those things, but at the end of the day, he has contributed immensely to the wrestling business for what he has done. So I'll forever respect that. Um, but everyone's excited for this wedding invitational, and you know, like every time I come on here, it always seems like I have something new to
You do, and
say.
we're going to get to that. We have a lot of people that still want to talk to you in the chat. And oh, by the way, I did get the book today. It's in
Oh,
this
okay,
book. I
awesome,
literally got it like right before it aired, so that's
wow.
funny. But yeah, it's 230 pages. Yeah, it'll take me a few years to read that, but that's okay. And Comatose has a good line here. Yeah, we do have a lot of people here in the chat. That's a good line. Jack Delta, who I haven't seen on a Sportswire stream in a long time. Ox McCoy, who's the hardcore champion. Thank you, Ox, for tuning in before his match with Kato. Mr. LaFlame, Mr. Parsley, and Colton Lee. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Yeah, and
Ton of
Justin
people.
Justin Parsley, he's the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio. Very kind of him to be here, actually, after what he went through with
It's
Vestal. No,
okay. If he doesn't come in here, it does come here. I
he's the
won't
hall
be
monitor. He has to
I
come
won't
in.
I won't be sad if he doesn't show up
He's the
again.
hall monitor. You do realize it is his job to be here. I mean, it's
I mean, he can monitor any halls he wants, but the only hall he's not monitoring is in Pennsylvania.
and he's certainly salivating because we're gonna do a 1,500 subscriber show, and I'm like literally like a few subscribers away. So that's going to be in days, and he's salivating at that. He's probably getting ready to take over. I mean, could you imagine him at the helm?
I mean, he does good at Jeopardy, so who knows?
He's a DJ, Jeopardy trivia host. I mean, I know he knows a thing or two about politics. I mean, I'm not going to say what I know about his political experience, but he knows politics, and he's asked me questions about that, and we don't want to go any further with that. Yep, hello to everybody here. How is everybody doing? And yep, Zilla has definitely been here for all the shows. Give DBW a sub on YouTube. We'd appreciate that very much. And here's a good one here. Was good seeing you at Unfinished Business and seeing how things have gone since leaving last year. You were wondering how I got in. Security isn't the best, and a kid named Ace Christian don't. No, I mean, what did you think about that whole segment there during the Ace Christian Zachary Depew match? What was your thoughts for a minute?
I mean, hopefully Jackson Snow is here on good terms. But seeing him back is a great thing to see because I've always enjoyed a lot of his work. He's definitely someone I would love to get into the ring with. And now that he's back, hopefully that opportunity does present itself. Because who knows where I'm going to be heading after I may defeat Aaron Blaze.
And yeah, I mean, we see some of it here, and we'll show it for the audience. And it was certainly good to see him. And this is now going to be playing. Now it's playing. It should be playing. But we'll move on here for some more comments and come back to that. And he meant to say security doesn't know how to close doors. Well, that's,
Yeah, there's always a door that's like open at all times at the DBW arena. So I can see that.
Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. And so there's a good line here. And I know Colton's going to be back here, and I want to get your perspective on this. So Aaron Jones attacking Brandon is over the line, but him nearly killing Jacob Cassidy is okay. What is your thoughts on that? It's an interesting...
I mean, I've never said anything like that. I don't know what words Colton Lee thought when he typed that out. I think both cases aren't okay, but if that's to keep him asleep at night, then sure. But Colton Lee, I don't know what your issue is, what this new attitude is, but it's not going to go as far as you think it is. It's not going to be another Silas Walker situation. You're going to have one instance where it's all just going to crumble on you and you're not going to know what to do with yourself, and maybe you'll have that reality check. You might look yourself in the mirror, but when that time comes, I hope you're prepared for it, because it's going to be a tough one to get through. And your attitude now is, it may be working right now, but in a couple months time that might not be the way to go.
But he tried the other route, and what happened? He was in the shoes that you and Silas were in. I mean, he tried that route, and he kept talking about it under a name that we're not going to name anymore.
He could always try, and like I said, once that instance happens and his whole world is crumbling down, I hope he has a backup plan for what he's dishing out right now. Especially with the whole chaos conspiracy fiasco.
Let's find out. Well, I'll tell you what. Time will tell. I'm so happy and glad that Jack Delta is in the chat and he's going to wrestle again. Well, he hasn't said when he's going to wrestle, where he's going to wrestle, but he certainly did post something on social media. I asked Soldier GP about that yesterday on Sportswire, and predictably, Soldier gave his opinions, and we'll certainly leave it at that. And also, we've got a clap, clap. You deserve it, clap, clap. Yeah, that was good. That's a good line there. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Comatose.
Comatose has always got some good things to say. And Ox McCoy's got a good thing to say that I want to talk about. That World Extreme Championship will look good paired with that IMF World Hardcore Championship on my shoulders. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, we know that Ace Christian's been in IMF. I mean, so who knows? Maybe Ox McCoy goes to DBW and
That
looks to
is
pick
something
things
I would
up.
love to see, is a lot of the IMF guys coming down to DBW for a show.
Absolutely.
Maybe do something that what we did last year with BTW, have like Universal Collision where IMF comes out and
Well, I hear
do.
some of those guys are available now because the Riot in the Ring has been pushed back. I'm sure you heard
Yeah,
about
I've heard about that.
Yeah. We'll find out. I mean,
It's entirely possible,
especially now. I mean, like I said, the Riot in the Ring, which we were looking forward to, for now, it seems like it's pushed for now, is suspended indefinitely, but that doesn't mean it'll pop up. But that gives guys an opportunity to show up in DBW, and yeah, that would be a great thing. And speaking of people that finally have decided to show up, James Taylor, who I spent the whole night on Sportswire last night saying, where is James Taylor? Because his ROW talent's going to IMF tomorrow, and he was nowhere to be found. But thankfully, he's here. He does say hello to you. He does seem to like you. James is a big fan of yours, so that's good news. Good news for you. But let's get to some more comments. You got a lot of comments here.
Yeah,
you do.
Seems like it.
Speaking of people from YBW, Magnum Carter, who knows a thing or two about Aaron Blaze, and he will pick himself back up and headline again. It's a clever line. And YBW is right around the corner, so those guys know better than anybody. I mean, maybe the YBW guys are not far around the corner.
Possibly. I mean, Aaron Blaze is only at the start.
Could you imagine Dominic? Don't doubt Dominic.
I mean, he'll definitely have to learn a few things, but I wouldn't mind it.
Don't doubt Dominic. Yeah, that would certainly be an interesting one.
Don't doubt Dominic.
Could you imagine him and Aaron Jones in a match, or could you him and Mr. Judgment? How about him and Roland Havoc? I mean, can we keep going?
Oh no.
How about him and Sammy Nothing? Even I mean, we can just keep going.
I would pay money to see that.
Well, you probably would. You and I would probably have to take our bank accounts out. Good news is doing better these days financially with the stock market. When Aaron Blaze stops chasing these little world titles, maybe he comes and goes for some big gold. He definitely loves to sit front row and watch his King of the West work. Interesting why Comatose would say such a thing. I don't know.
I mean, he's kind of getting to that point where he is becoming a true king because he did win the Rumble, I believe, correct?
Yeah, but Aaron Blaze, I mean, what's it to him? I mean, Comatose is the BTW Rumble winner. Aaron Blaze had his world title shot against Blackout. He didn't win.
I think Comatose sees Aaron Blaze as a true threat and to a someone that could truly hinder an opportunity for him to be at the top. So I think having those I don't know what you call it, like almost like paranoid antics, I would say.
So you're trying to say, okay, you're trying to say he's like a politician that I know. Many of the politicians that I used to work for were always paranoid. They wouldn't sleep. They'd always be worried about somebody saying something. They'd always be worried about whatever. They would never.
He won the Rumble, and now he has a lot of these targets behind his back. He almost has to be paranoid on whoever is in his way to be able to get that championship,
Well, the Blackout's in his sights. He spoke about that last week on the show, and that's the next stop for him. But he's got some time before that. He's got his brother now in BTW. His girlfriend now is in BTW. I mean, it's a family affair for Comatose, and he should focus on that, and maybe he will. But Aaron Blaze is doing his thing, and who really knows at this point? What do I know? Darkron, the Underground OG, who was here last night and predictably was angry at Anthony Steele, and he'll probably take it out on him tomorrow, but wants to say hello before we go. And thank you for the kind words about my interview with Gary Wolf. One last note, Stephen Gaynor, if you're in here, give me that contract. Lots of unfinished business to attend to. Now, that's going to be a big topic with Silas tomorrow.
Yes.
It's going to be a big topic. I wonder, certainly Stephen Gaynor, what his future is. I will certainly wonder about that. And Silas Walker is going to talk about that, I would have to think.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's kind of like one of the biggest things that happened on the show.
I think it was that Silas Walker for you again. That's why you want to be in Silas Walker's spot several months from now. You want to be. You may not want to say it. You may not want to admit it, but he was in your spot last year. Look at where he is today.
I mean, he does have that success, and it's kind of something that I do want, but I'm going to go in a different approach than what
well, you know
Silas
what? You
does.
might need to quote a band from not too far from you in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Poison. You might need something to believe in. You might need something to believe in to get you back on top. And time will tell. Silas will probably tell us why you won't be winning anything anytime soon tomorrow. Though. He will probably tell us that and tell you that directly. It's good to hear some positive reviews on Blaze. I have yet to meet Mr. Blaze. I hope to meet him soon. And I think that's a pretty fair statement, and that's all we want to ask for. And yeah, check out my interview with Mark Kendall on Blabbermouth. We really appreciate that. Aaron Blaze was actually the first person to reach out to us in DKW, but we could never get something lined up. That's a good point. He's also got another company that he's found in the underground, also in Ohio. So really good stuff. If I take your job, Tom, I'm going to get a cardboard cutout of you and do my best Tom Bryce impression. His name is simply put, and then, yeah, the war chants. But, yeah, so I guess that means we're staying. We're staying here. Sit down for a cron. Just still down for it. Just have a busier schedule. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But, yeah, who knows? And then he went in for his name. Yeah, I did my name. Yeah. That was when I was a kid. There was an announcer for the New York Knicks in basketball, and he used to say it like, Patrick Ewing, and I was always in my head. Patrick, and then yes, I was always like, that was always a big thing for me. But let's move on here. Enough about me. Anyone can come in last in a battle royal and talk some things, Comatose. Congratulations. It took you 2 tries to still come in second place. Well, here we go. Now you got get the popcorn ready. I actually like watching what you do best, and that's lose to RJS Clown. I mean King. You see, you go. That's a different promotion. A different promotion. You work in DBW. Let's put it to you. And much appreciated to everybody else here for the kind words. Yes, absolutely, no question about that. Aaron Blaze will be back on Sportswire, which I am very much.
I would hope so.
He was here like 2 months ago, and he's going to be back here. I mean, well, he technically had a spot here. He came in, but he was sick like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw.
Okay, yeah.
He was here a couple weeks ago, and he was sick though, but he'll be back here. But yeah, hey Zilla, my bad. The chat just updated for some reason. I think I did miss somebody else here. King of Jokers, Comatose. My man, I do respect RJS, but don't forget what I've done to you. Legends, you're having a great first year, my man. Now you just have to do better than my first year, which would truly be a headline. And that's one stylish referee. Oh, Mr. Michael McMoney, of course, from our council and our friends in Legit Alternative Wrestling, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Obviously, Parkersburg had some talent you've maybe heard of. Day Jameson, ring a bell? Day Jameson.
Yeah, I've heard of Day Jameson. Yeah.
I'm sure you heard of Day Jameson. Daniel Tafu. Some names you might know from Express Wrestling. And Godric Sandwell. You definitely know Godric Sandwell.
I know him pretty well, yeah.
You definitely. And that's in their company, Legit Alternative Wrestling. Maybe you might want to scout them for the wedding. And thank you, Mr. McMoney. He'll be back here soon. I think they're in your chair in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Backyard Wrestling, it's a nice Borat. Thank you, Blood Hunter. Buddy, I've been in the presence of Jack Delta, Navon McDonald, Mr. Judgment, beaten some of the biggest names and told the best stories and traveled above and beyond. And I could see Comatose and Aaron Blaze.
They're just going at it.
Yeah, they're going at it here. What is this? Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, CM Punk and Seth Rollins? You're not even a zit on the nose of half of what I do. You got a lot of comments here. These guys are spamming your show, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's like Anthony Steele and James Taylor all over again. The clown of the West Coast isn't even.
It always seems like me, James Taylor, and Anthony Steele get the most comments in all these shows.
Yeah, well, because people they want to air their grievances, I guess. On your
guess so.
They want to air. They ain't doing that when Gary Wolf's here.
Hey, I'll let it happen. I'll just let it happen.
Okay, well, people are tuned in. What can I say? Who is doing things everywhere in any condition, by the way. LOL. The day we cross paths in BTW, it should be a cakewalk to beat me. I'm a zit that needs to be popped after all. That reminds me of when I was growing up. My mother would stand in front of the mirror and pop a zit, and I would have to. Sometimes 1 or 2 times I had to get a zit popped, and it was painful. But let's move on here. Pause. Mama Comatose there. Mama Comatose, you celebrated a birthday recently, I think, right? There was a birthday recently for Mama Comatose. Happy birthday to Mama Comatose. Mama Comatose is here. We love seeing Mama Comatose here. She heard Comatose's name. She must get it like a notification. Comatose's name
Yeah.
is mentioned. But stay tuned for that. It is a cakewalk. It's so easy to the point. It's not on my radar, and I went straight to the top. AKA Not You King, my backside. How you doing? And hey, Chase, me, you, and Steele get all the comments because we're the biggest draws, mate.
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but
You got some big. You do draw a crowd. I mean, he says you tell me, and the good news is Steele's on a bus somewhere, and that means he's nowhere near in sight. But obviously, we are here with Chase Wakefield. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all music and wrestling matters. And I want to talk about it here for a few minutes before I do something I do have a surprise for you, but I have to talk. Yeah, I got a surprise for you. But I have to talk about your wedding coming up here because now it's official that we have the card coming up here. And I'm going to put it up here on the screen because I've got it all here one by one. And I got a couple of announcements toward that, which I'm excited about. So let's put it up here on the screen. We got certainly some things to talk about. Let's do it. We've got your match coming up with Matt DeMorris, which is on the main event. And tell us how you're feeling now going into it.
Oh man, it's if for people that do not know, I started out getting into backyard wrestling by watching a lot of the GBYWN content like BXW, NYE, ETTW, who Matt DeMorris was a very prominent figure in a lot of those. He was the GBYWN World Heavyweight Champion, and he was actually the first guy that I watched where I believe the first match I saw in backyard in total is Matt DeMorris versus MX5 in NYE. And I saw that match. I was blown away at what they did in that. And then I looked more into it. I saw ETTW, who was a trampoline wrestling federation.
Yeah, I remember that.
They did things that not a lot of people could physically do, and it just blew me away. And then I met Mr. Judgment, like it was like 10 years ago, I believe, like over 10 years, and they did some trampoline wrestling, and then I started getting into it, and now all these years later, over a decade now, I'm now going to be wrestling the guy that I really got me into backyard wrestling, and it's something I've been wanting all my career. A few years ago, he announced that he was retiring from the ring because of a knee injury. And now he's coming back for one last run. And why not make the biggest match of my life during the biggest day of my life at the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational?
And speaking of other GBYWN greats, you got another one here that popped up on your Instagram page, and let's talk about Mike Damage.
Oh man, Mike Damage, man. Another guy that I watched at the start. One of the most brutal, toughest guys that I've ever seen in this backyard wrestling scene. The things that he did, Mike Damage walked before a lot of these hardcore guys could run. And having a guy like Mike Damage, he was actually one of the first people that agreed to this. And I've had to keep this a secret for this long.
A long time, dude. That's talking, 8 months?
Yeah, it's been a long 8 months, and I finally can now confirm that it's going to be Mike Damage versus Aaron Jones. And
wow!
What could be a no disqualifications match. He made a demand that if it isn't a no disqualification match, he's not doing it. So now we're just waiting on Aaron Jones to play ball and see if he accepts to what Mike Damage
Aaron Jones, listen, he's got a lot to say. He got a lot on his mind. I'm sure he's going to take his time very nicely with this one. And, Rad Dad's going to be here 2 weeks from now on Memorial Day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And most certainly I am going to ask Rad Dad about this. I am going to ask him what his thoughts are because he's going to see Mike Damage. And he and I actually spoke before we went on the air. He wishes you well, obviously, says hello. definitely wants to thank you for your support and wants to, I'm sure, have a lot to say on that.
Oh, I definitely hope he does have a lot to say because there's a lot of history between Brad and Mike Damage.
Absolutely.
Um, they traveled at the same places. They fought together. They fought against each other in the past. It's really cool seeing a lot of these different eras culminating together into this one big show. And I've been seeing a lot of these other super shows come be announced, then either get delayed or canceled.
Yeah.
And my goal is not only to have one of the best weddings, my goal is to also provide this wonderful show and this opportunity for a lot of these guys to meet some really great people and learn a lot of great things.
Yeah, I think it's certainly two birds with one stone approach, and obviously you got a lot of pressure because you're getting married, but also on top of that, you got a show here, and obviously Rad's going to be here 2 weeks from Memorial Day to talk about that. That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about Mike Damage, and Aaron Jones is on the clock, and I'm excited about that. We've got obviously again Aaron Blaze and D'Angelo the Flame for the Medal of Honor. That came
Yes.
up here. I think Aaron mentioned it when he was here a couple weeks ago. He got the DBW shirt on, and D'Angelo the Flames, the real raw energy. We got obviously some names that we'll see Silas Walker talk about tomorrow. Nikki Chooch, who I spoke about, who should be back on in a few weeks. I spoke with Brandon as well. Of course, he's our champion. And you know what? And I'm glad Michael McMoney mentioned this. Bill Bain versus Roland Havoc, another recent match you just announced. And I'm glad Michael McMoney's got a good eye, like a good umpire. And let's talk about this for a few minutes.
Oh yeah, man, Bill Bain. I actually met Bill Bain at a show. It was called IWL. He worked a show there. I was backstage. I was also working that same night. And he's such a great guy to talk to. He taught me a lot of things backstage. He gave me some good words of encouragement. And these two actually have shared the same locker room in EBW Pro.
Yes.
So when I told both these guys that this match is happening, they were very excited. And a lot of these matches, these newer matches that I announced, all became due to the fact that a lot of circumstances came about. There's people we see on the poster back then that aren't on the poster anymore, and when opportunities fall, new opportunities are created. And if it wasn't for that one opportunity, this match wouldn't have happened. And
But I
I'm
think
really
Bill
glad.
being here is a really big deal because of the
Yes,
experience. I
Bill
mean,
Bain
that's a man
has
he's done a lot,
decades of
man.
experience. Yeah,
Absolutely. You're
Bill.
talking about a guy that's, a multiple time company man, has got 20 plus years in the game easily.
Yes, and Bill's been on the top of the wrestling game too. He not only was in WWE, he's been in AEW, TNA. He's also the Three Legacies champion there.
Yep.
And there's just a lot of amazing things that this guy has done, and I'm so grateful that he's able to come out and do this. And I'm very excited for these two, and I think they're going to tear it down.
You're talking about two men that have about literally 50 plus years
Yeah.
experience between them. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see. Obviously, EBW Pro Roland's been a big part of that for a long time. And Michael McMoney made a great point. And by the way, Courtney's here Sunday night, Michael. She'll be here at 9:30. And happy Mother's Day to other mothers out there.
Oh
Mama,
yeah.
happy
For
Mother's Day.
for
Yeah.
Law, I would love to be a part of that too.
Well,
Since Michael McMoney is here, I'd love to get my foot in the door and be a
Well, I
part of.
can
Well,
certainly help you with that. I will definitely share your profile. I will definitely give it to the powers that be, and we'll definitely Timothy. Although he won't like me saying Timothy Titan, but I'll give it to council members' names, and yeah, you could certainly get your name in there. Yeah, I'm sure the guys will talk to you about that. I'm excited to see that, and the Blaze Ace Christian against RJ Carnage. I mean,
oh
that's
man,
another one I got to talk about that because my guy in any who was in NEW, D Savage has done some training
yes.
with RJ Carnage.
So years and years ago, this was back when we had the DIY ring.
And
These two were
RJ wasn't here that long ago. He was still in DBW, I think. Well, he came back for an appearance last year, if I'm not
yeah to
mistaken.
face me.
Yeah, let's see.
And these two actually were a team back in the day, and they were called the Future Industry, and they've always had history with each other for almost 8 or 9 years now, and they've never really truly had a one-on-one up until now. And I think with how these two have progressed, RJ Carnage was a former BPW Futures champion, and as for Ace Christian, he's held championships in the independents as well. And these two have amazing potential, and I absolutely can't wait to see what these two bring out. And it's definitely going to be a great callback to the old DBW days.
And I think what Ace is doing, he's literally about to be last year's RJ Carnage. I mean, he is WDWA. He's been in. He just wrestled on television yesterday. I mean, he was
Yep.
in New York late last year.
And he's got a lot of big opportunities coming up ahead because me and Ace, well, kind of like older brother and younger brother in a sense, where we always talk every day. I see him almost every week. So he has a lot of huge opportunities ahead of him, and I'm just really happy to see where these two have gone. And it's going to be great to see them go one-on-one.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, what RJ has done, again, at Battlefield and everywhere else he's been, with the Inoue family, and then you've got what Ace is doing. It's going to be a classic of a match there. And obviously, we spoke about in the past Jacob Ryan and Yankee TDM, who I spoke about actually with the Russian Manimal Volkov. He came up with the Russian Manimal Volkov on Sportswire a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think you saw that one.
Yeah, I did. To say about Yankee as well, Yankee has been one of those guys that I could really count on and rely on a lot of personal advice.
Yes.
And he's always a great guy to talk to, and he's a tremendous talent, and he's definitely someone perfect for a show like this.
I think that's, I'm so fat because, we watched his match in Pro Wrestling XX, and I am very fascinated because Jacob Ross, I mean, that's going to be just two men just beating the heck out of each other. And,
yes,
some other stuff that we've talked about here in the past, you definitely want to check out. And again, we spoke about Andrew Lovelace. I got to mention Lovelace, and we want to keep our thoughts and prayers out there to him still. And he's on his way back out there in the ring, and he'll be a part of this match. And D'Lo Smith, another guy that I need to get onto the platform. Chris Idol is going to be a part of it. You got some stars studded there and a mystery competitor there.
Don't you forget the mystery competitor too. It's a lot of this is also for Das Boot. And if you know what Das Boot is, if you don't know what it is, it's a boot cup full of beer. And
well, that's why I'm not the mystery competitor, because I don't drink. So I'm just going to put it out there. I will confirm that I am not that mystery competitor because I do not drink. So I'm out.
It's okay. I wouldn't put you in this anyways because you might have to go to the hospital because of
well, that's okay. We don't want that. I actually, unfortunately, I was at a Jewish funeral before I bring a surprise out there in a minute for our friend, my co-host. We do news, Heshi Tischler. His mother-in-law, his mother-in-law passed away yesterday. We went to a Jewish funeral, and it's definitely an interesting thing. And the men sit on one side of the wake, and the women sit on the other side, and they do prayers in Yiddish, some of them, and they sing, and then people come and speak, and it's a really fascinating experience. I actually walked away with a lot of more humbling experience in some ways, and that's a different show for a different time. We had enough about scriptures yesterday on Sportswire, but check this all out. I want to put the Instagram page of the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational here before anything else. And also, Michael McMoney wants to say, which might impact your potential appearances in law, Andrew Lovelace is over, or people will riot, mainly them cougars that lurk out east. Well, I'm not going to get into that because
he's well off with the ladies. I've heard his stories with Andrew Lovelace.
Well, we are certainly a family station on here, and we want to keep people like Gary Wolf coming on here. But hello to everybody else out there. But I do have a surprise, and I want to bring him onto the stage because he has something to say, and I'm not sure what it is and exactly what it is and why he's here. But I'm bringing him on as King of the West the one and only
Oh, man.
Comatose, and he's not here to tell us what flavor of vape he's got. He's here to tell Chase Wakefield something, and I'm going to give him the floor. And what brings you here on a Friday night, good sir?
What brings me here on a Friday night, Tom, and Mr. Legendary Man himself, Chase Mother Bleepin'
You can say it, but
Wakefield.
if you want to say
Mother
it.
Mother Wakefield. There you go. There you go.
You couldn't get the timing right last night on Sportswire, but this time I got it right.
Yes, yeah, yes, indeed. And like you said, we do want to keep getting these big names on here, so I'll pause the profanity if I need to.
That's
So
okay.
that
Although
so
Gary did say a few F words tonight. Yeah, I have to say Gary did say them, but we gave him Gary a pass.
Hey, he's an
that's
ECW legend.
Yeah, pretty much.
ECW baby.
Yeah.
But I am here to say, Mr. Chase Wakefield, man, you are truly just one of the biggest inspirations in the yard, aren't you? You really are. Look at this chat right now. Look at what you got coming on very, very soon, my man. It is absolutely incredible. A wedding invitational show, about to have the love of your life right next to you, doing what you love to do for the rest of your career. And a guy like me that recently just did something very, very similar, that's a huge inspiration to someone like me. And thank you so much for always giving me all the time that you have, for giving me all the effort whenever we talk. And thank you truly, truly for giving me some of the best off camera conversations that I've had with other people in the yard.
Well, thank you, man. I truly appreciate those words, and I'm glad that I can be some type of impact for someone out there, and I'm really glad to hear what you've gone through, and I really hope for the best for you, man.
Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate that, my man. I'm definitely trying my best. There's definitely some roadblocks in and out of the ring, but
Are you safe right now? You okay? I mean, I don't know if I should bring it up, but last week, I mean, I messaged you off the air, and everything okay right now because you know,
I don't mind going public with it. It's gonna get it'll be public by the 13th. So yeah, I'm fine. Mr. Uh, let's get the bleep going. Mr. Fuckface, um, is in jail, and I do not have a bullet in my skull.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that post on Facebook, and I messaged you at like 3 a.m. and I was up because I'm always up, and I was like, "You all right? Anything you want to talk about?"
oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if there is one thing that will not and cannot ever happen in the backyard, it doesn't matter if you have an actual gun or if your name is the Golden Guns. You cannot put a bullet and kill off the King of the West. There is nothing you can do to kill me off or break my stride. And I am coming for the top spot in all of BYW and
mm,
all of underground wrestling.
mm, mm. Well, I'm glad you're alive, and I'm glad, but
Yes,
I
I
did
am.
see
Yes, I am.
real quick before I let you go because I know Mr. Wakefield has a few things, but I noticed Aaron Blaze was in here in the chat. You guys were going off on each other, but you won the Rumble. He lost his title shot to Blackout, so I'm confused. Are you looking for his spot maybe against D'Angelo the Flame? Is that really why you're here tonight? Do you think that because you won the BTW Rumble and he lost his title shot match with Blackout and he lost to Aaron Jones in unfinished business last weekend that really you should be in his spot? Is that why you're here tonight?
You know, I do feel as if maybe a certain King of the West should be in the spot of a person that failed to make a headline where I made the biggest one of the night. But, you know, in the back of my head, and probably in the back of everybody else's head, it does sound super good on paper to hear Aaron Blaze versus D'Angelo LaFlame. So I'll let Aaron Blaze have his very fiery dream match while I continue the day-to-day life in a locker room with the guy he has a poster of on his wall.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Ooh.
mean, obviously, I can kind of tie two and two together, but obviously, I hope the poster's still up. But I mean, maybe he'll get it signed. Maybe he did he get it signed or no?
I mean, he was certainly sitting there front row for that triple threat, waiting for something. I mean, he had no problem.
Did you give him a
holding.
Sharpie?
He had no. Oh! I gave him a Sharpie. And I let him hold my crown because we all know that's the closest Aaron's gonna get to.
I've got one just in case. So if you run out, I can mail you one free of charge.
Or absolutely. We might need a few because you know how guys like how they are when they get these autographs. You know, he's gonna get 100 of them, and then his Amazon account. So suddenly he's gonna go boom. You know, I mean. But
Yeah.
you know, he's also going to keep 50 of them and make a life-size body pillow out of one.
I was a lot more than I needed to know, but I get the point. It was a lot more than I needed to know. But so you're not here though to maybe there's a mystery spot here in this 7-person. Are you not here for that? Or you got to be here for something toward the wedding? I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah, it was simply any chance that I get, and I will say. Although what's happening in that match again? You said Das Boot.
It's a boot beer, yeah.
Well, if there's one thing that people know about Native Americans, we like the bottle. We like to drink.
I mean, listen. I mean, you do have your other half. Maybe you both want to show up at this, and keep your gear handy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the case.
Maybe that is the case, and maybe everyone is just going to have to tune in to the biggest backyard wrestling show of all time to find out.
And I do want to say Mom is here. I do, before I let you go. Mom is here.
Oh, man.
Wants to say that you are lucky to be alive.
I am, but I am very lucky to be alive. Yes, I am. I am very, very lucky.
And she also did want to say that her birthday is actually, you said it, her birthday's next week. I read something on Facebook. I am almost certain I read something on Facebook. Her birthday was coming up. So I wished her happy birthday.
My birthday's next weekend,
You definitely did, for sure.
What is your birthday? What is your birthday, Mr. Wakefield? I don't have
19th.
Okay, 19th. So that means I need to do something for your birthday. Okay, I need to do something for your birthday then. I'll keep it in mind. Next weekend, and Mom's birthday is not happening yet. Also, happy Mother's Day to other mothers out there.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe you need a new groomsman. And Aaron Blaze is quiet here. I haven't seen any comments from him. And Michael McMoney from our friends in Parkersburg, West Virginia, saying you are a star on the microphone. And before I let you go, before I close the show soon with Mr. Wakefield, IGPW, anything coming up with that?
IGPW, here in a couple days, I do believe it would be on the 11th. It is me and JB finally in the match promo for the chairs match. And JB, 2 heights to nothing. Where are you at? Where are you? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the hashtag going right here, right now. This needs to be clipped. Hashtag, where is JB?
Well, this is what I can do before I let you go, because I got to plug your Instagram before I let you go. This is your Instagram page. Go out there and give Comatose a follow if you want to get in touch with him. Yeah, Chase put it out there. Very kind of him to do that. Do give him a follow and check out some of his stuff.
Thank you, man.
And we do want to see more of Comatose. He'll be here on Sportswire soon. BTW's got a show at the end of the month, a big show, and we will certainly make that happen again. And we're glad that Comatose is safe and sound and alive, which is the most important thing. And also, absolutely, Mama Comatose wanted to say today is Military Spouse Appreciation Day, and then Sunday is Mother's Day. Yes, I'm aware of that. And her birthday is the 17th. She got quite a week there. Yeah, it's quite a week.
Celebratory week for Mama.
You know what? She gets gifts in threes. Usually it's deaths in threes. You get gifts in threes. So lucky you. That's a good thing. But we definitely want to wish her happy birthday. Thank you as always. I'm going to say good to see you. I was wondering where Mr. Blaze was with his comments, but maybe he's going to keep his powder dry for Mr. Wakefield. And you must be rooting for Mr. Wakefield over Mr. Blaze. What do you think on that?
You know I'm rooting for my boy, Mr. Chase Wakefield.
Yeah.
You know that. I'm rooting for Chase Wakefield over anybody. But if there is one thing, we keep going. If there's one thing I will say before I hop off, and I'll just hop right off after I say it. It's kind of funny how I'm the one that's nervous, but I'm the one that popped my face on a Sportswire for the millions and millions to see.
That's an interesting point. I mean, maybe he's busy. Maybe he's
YouTube
getting
does
ready.
have millions.
I don't know if we have millions. I mean, I do have one clip on TikTok, by the way. I just hit like 6,000 views with Rhino. Thank you, Rhino. Thank you, Rhino, for that. We got a few new followers, and we'll see. Listen, I'm gonna keep my powder dry for what Aaron Blaze will have to say. We'll find out. And good to see you, my friend. Glad you're well. I will see you here before the end of the month. And Happy Spouse Day to Mama Comatose, Military Spouse Day. Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And we wish her happy birthday. And we'll see you soon, champ.
I'll see you soon, guys. Have a great one, Chase.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was the BYW Interpromotional Champion, the BTW Rumble 9 winner, Comatose, the King of the West. And he wanted to say his words before we sign off. And sir, certainly a lot there that he had, I think, for not just you, but for Aaron Blaze, and we'll see what remains. But before we sign off, I hear you got a couple of other things you got going on here. You want to tell
them about it? Let's get off with BCW.
Oh, BCW! Wait a minute. Why are you bringing up BCW for? Because
Ben Salem Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, they came on last week. I had Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami on. Tsunami's new BCW champion.
I've been watching a lot of this stuff. I've been watching all the progress they've had. And
they're coming back on here on the 21st. They're here on Wednesday, the 21st. I mean, what's your two cents on BCW?
I've been speaking to Maxwell a lot, and we're going to be we've been discussing, and it will be official that I will be going out to BCW on Sunday.
You're going out there now. Are you going to maybe talk to the guys about what they're doing Triple Mania 3? Are you talking to the guys about just maybe wanting to do some, I don't know, maybe you've done some announcing in the past. Maybe you want to talk to the guys about maybe doing a podcast with them, maybe, giving them a couple of tickets to the wedding. What's your reasons why you're going to Ben Salem?
Well, not only just to see the environment that they have, but I will be actually teaching a lot of those guys a lot of the things that they haven't learned yet in the business. To not only improve on the product on the production side itself, but as well as in-ring or in trampoline, I would say. And you may be seeing Chase Wakefield wrestle on a trampoline for the first time in over a decade.
Wait a minute. All right. I got this now. So you mean to tell me that you want to wrestle now in BCW on a trampoline? Now, last I checked, James Taylor is doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing in BYCW. He just wrestled his first match on the trampoline in over 20 years. That's right, 21 years. And now you want to wrestle your first match on the trampoline in about over half a decade. I mean, so it seems to me, are you trying to almost emulate James Taylor and now wrestle on the trampoline? I mean,
not at all as an intimidation. I'm more or less, I kind of got the itch when it comes to doing trampoline wrestling. It's definitely something now with a lot of the experience I've had. I think a lot of the things I can do on one of those, I think it's going to blow a lot of people away. And it's more or less a test for myself to see if I can go out there and provide a great match if I do get a match there.
But you got a lot of competition there in BCW. You got Caden Gallows, NJN certainly.
There is a lot of competition.
You got Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami who are coming back to Sportswire. You sure you can handle that?
I mean, there's a lot of competition out there, but if you look at the history that I have had, I've wrestled some of the biggest names in the community.
But that was yesterday. This is today. These are the guys that they're going out there. Look,
it's only a matter of time to see who will step up and who I believe would be a great challenge. Because me traveling 3 hours up there, I'm gonna want a suitable challenger. Whether it be Tsunami, whether it be Maxwell Reeves, whether it be anyone else in that locker room. I just hope they're ready to pack a lunch and get to work.
Well, that's exciting. That's really fascinating. And again, Maxwell and Tsunami are here to replay their last conversation and talk about what exactly happened at Trampomania. Tsunami's the new BCW champion, and that might be one you might have some interest in. You might actually be tuning into that one, and they're going to know about this. I'm going to make sure that they hear this here after we're off the air. So I'll make sure the BCW guys hear that. And thank you to our friend, the Prodigy here. And yes, please hit the sub button for us. Almost at 1,500 subs. BCW's almost at 1,500 subs. And yeah, that's an exciting time.
Also, another thing that I'm very impressed with BCW is about their viewership on like Instagram. I go on.
Oh my God, the
Instagram
viewership
page.
on Instagram is like in the thousands. They're real.
I look at the last time I've seen a trampoline fed like that get that much traction on any social media was the old KBW days. And
yeah, I think it's been talked about a couple of times on Sportswire.
And especially, I've been in the shoes of facing people who have been in that spot, like KJ
Well,
Orso.
DBW had those numbers before.
Yeah.
DBW's had those big numbers before.
We're almost at I believe we're almost at 1 million concurrent views on the
I did see
DBW
that
channel.
I did see that, yeah. I mean, so
But
you guys have been there.
Also, another thing, every time I come on the show, I mentioned this earlier at the start, I always have something to talk about as like a big thing. And I haven't done that yet, so I figure why not say it now. And when it comes to the Wakefield Invitational, there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and it's going to be something that's going to be shaping up for something else. And it may be a blank slate that will be presented, and maybe this will become more than just one single weekend of super shows.
So
Maybe it's gonna.
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to do what ECW One Night Stand famously turned into. It turned into the reboot of ECW. Maybe that's what you potentially see. I mean,
and a lot of the guys that are on both day one and two, they're going to be shown a lot more when it comes to this future that I have envisioned. Because I always pictured what's next after I face the Morris. What can I do next that will be big? I could go after Rad Dad and his GBYW and World
by all means,
Championship.
listen, you know what? By all means, he's here in 2 weeks. Stop by.
That might be something that I'm actually itching to do because
let him know. I mean, listen, let him know. I mean, stop by, and I mean, all these people interrupt you all the time. Maybe
I know.
Maybe you should actually interrupt Rad Dad. Maybe you should come by and give him a few food for thoughts.
Maybe, and I'll just say that the future is going to look really bright, especially when it comes to 2026, and you may see a new competitor in the independent wrestling world when it comes to Chase Wakefield and what
you got the Law guys here. Listen, and I will connect you with Michael McMoney's here. They're always scouting in Law. I mean, you've done a little bit in the independents, not a lot, but I will certainly let Mr. McMoney know, and I will send the info, vice versa, when we're off the air. So we'll handle that.
And I will also say as well that the card that we have, there's going to be a lot more faces that aren't on that poster that will show up. Maybe some guys from the NWA, maybe.
Well, I mean, listen, you already said you have a mystery opponent. We already know Bill Bain. We've got Mike Damage. We've got, Loveless. We've got Chris Yankee TDM, who I've spoke about recently. I mean,
you got guys like Eric Black and all of them.
I know the Blacks very well. I know Eric and Raymond. Yes, I speak to them very regularly. Yes.
What if I say that I'm working with a current hitman for hire? Someone that's been just recently announced for the Crockett Cup in the NWA. Maybe someone that was at WDWA this last past show that they had.
Well, I can tell you it's not Anton Nathan.
No, it's the one and only Mr. Grimm.
Oh, whoa!
I'm still working on it. But
all right, well, let's not get
Grimm.
too excited. You may do it. You may listen. Dave Jamieson wanted a match with Lee Moriarty on Sunday's show, and we haven't heard what will happen there. So
I mean, stay tuned. And there's going to be so many turns, swerves that you guys aren't ready
Well,
for
do you
what's
have
going to come out.
anything else that you want to share before we sign off? Anything else that you want to get off your chest?
Not at the current moment. I mean, I do have to face the phony Aaron Jones at BTW Fury. I had a call with the boss man, as you saw. Um,
The real boss
I
man.
told him that there's a fake Aaron Jones right in front of my eyes, and I wanted a match with the real deal, real boss man Aaron Jones, and he accepted. So whether it be the fake phony Aaron Jones that looks a lot bigger than Aaron Jones, or will it be the actual Aaron Jones? Who knows? But I I just can't wait to see what the result will be at BTW Fury.
Very excited about that. And VTW is certainly one of those companies, again, right up there with DBW. And Chase Wakefield certainly needs to get a win. He certainly needs to get back on track. And you heard it here tonight. He's going this Sunday to visit BCW and maybe do more than just a visit. And oh, by the way, Tsunami and Maxwell Reeves are here coming up on May the 21st. They're here in 2 weeks, in 12 days from now. They're going to talk about this, and they're going to talk about the BCW championship situation. The Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational got really interesting. You know, by the way, Chase Wakefield spent a lot of time here tonight talking about his upcoming match in DBW, a penitentiary qualifier match against the headline Aaron Blaze, who, oh, by the way, Comatose spoke about. And Chase Wakefield, in between the middle of that, looks like he wants to wrestle on the trampoline again. So certainly, who says you can't go home again? Chase Wakefield's going to do that here and some. And obviously, we'll certainly see what the future is. And by the way, tomorrow night, we've got Silas Walker. Chase is not going to be here for that. He's definitely not tuning in. Janie's got him out for dinner plans, movie night. They're going to see Minecraft again for the 17th time. They're going to see Sinners again. I don't know. But
I love that movie.
somebody asked me in the neighborhood, "You see Minecraft yet?" And I was at dinner in an Italian restaurant. I said, "No." I said, "You see me in the neighborhood all the time. I'm on Sportswire." I said, "You won't. What was it? You got to go see it. Well, you got to give me free time, but that's a different show for a different time." Let me pass the baton to you, though, to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? The floor is now yours, and take it away.
I mean, a lot of it we talked about. We got the Wedding Invitational in a couple months. We also got DBW, BTW, and also BCW coming up.
Oh,
Whether
BCW, that's very exciting, BCW.
whether I'll be a part of the show or whether I'm there just to help those guys out the best as I can. It will be a great, productive day for a lot of those guys. And hopefully those guys will take a lot of the knowledge I will give out to them and implement it into future shows and make the product even better.
Well, we'll certainly find out and follow the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational here on Instagram. But I know you were going to go, but apparently I've received word that there is somebody out there that wants to give you advice on wrestling on the trampoline, and they wanted to basically give you some food for thought. And I'm going to give this person the opportunity to do that because they just did it themselves. And I'm talking about nothing.
Oh, there he is.
The ROEW owner, James Taylor, is live for a few minutes before we sign off because James wanted to give you some advice because he just returned to the trampoline for the first time in 21 years. And Chase Wakefield's returning to the trampoline for the first time in over half a decade. And James, I understand you'd like to give Mr. Wakefield some advice on returning to the trampoline, and it is certainly good to see you because you were quite the topic last night on Sportswire Radio, but you silenced the critics by Jacob Collins winning the Prestige Championship today. So apparently you've still got something left in the tank, but you've also got something to say to Chase Wakefield, I'm sure.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. Any advice is good advice.
It's unfortunate that I missed the show last night because I was attending to other matters. It's always nice to hear that my name is always in somebody's mouth because obviously I'm the one that's always doing something right. But beside the point, Mr. Wakefield, if I may, congratulations because you're doing exactly what you need to do, just as I do, and that is proving to the world why you're one of the top guys in this industry, why you're one of the top superstars in this community and in the underground and backyard wrestling scene. So you go ahead and you go onto the trampoline and don't let nobody say anything otherwise, because all you're doing is proving to everybody else that you got what it takes to put on a show, whether it's on a trampoline or if it's in a 16 by 16 or a 20 by 20 ring. Either way it goes, you're going to go in there, you're going to get the job done, you're going to put on a show, and everybody else can't do nothing about it. So that's all that matters. And I know that you're going to have exactly what it takes to get the job done, because you're Mr. Chase Wakefield, and that's not me coming in to blow smoke up your ass. It's really just me spitting out facts, because look, here you are. You've been on here for over an hour and a half, and your chat's blowing up.
Yeah, big crowd tonight. A big crowd.
People like you. People like you. They respect you. And even if they want to air their grievances between each other, that's on them. So welcome to the top, kid. I know you're going to do great things here in this community, and I've always got my eye on you, and I got a lot of respect for you.
Well, thank you.
Well, that was very kind.
Really appreciate it.
Very kind to close the show with those rather positive words here, that from one man who just returned to the trampoline, another returning, and who says you can't go home again? I mean, that was certainly a good Bon Jovi song, but apparently James Taylor and Chase Wakefield are going to go home again, and they are going to go and be on the trampoline. Who knows? Maybe both men will walk away with gold eventually on the trampoline. We know that James Taylor has got a showdown coming up with Dalton Skull for the PWF Uprising Championship, and Chase Wakefield's walking into a completely different environment in BCW, Ben Salem Championship Wrestling. And before we go, hit the sub button for BYCW. I understand we may have some plans coming up for BYCW soon on Sportswire. Stay tuned for that. And hit the sub button for our friends in BCW, Ben Salem Championship Wrestling. And before we sign off here, I do want to let the world know that if you have a chance, I would certainly hope that you do tune in to the one and only Mr. Pitbull Gary Wolf. I have some people telling me that they're checking it out as we speak. So there he was. It was a great honor to have him on. And check out the interview if you missed it. He's got a brand new book, which I didn't open yet, but I'll be reading it this weekend. And it was great to have Gary Wolf and talk about all of his stories. He talked about playing cards with Andre the Giant. He talked about steroids with Hulk Hogan. Yes, he really talked about these things. He talked about Ted DiBiase. He talked about New Zealand. He talked about the Halo incident with his broken neck with Shane Douglas. A long list of stories. It's in his book, but it's also here on Sportswire Radio. We want to thank, obviously, Mr. Wolf for this opportunity, and check that out. And Chase Wakefield, check him out. Check James Taylor out. And before we go, also the man that's here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Now, I know that I could certainly let him come on, but Chase will have a heart attack. He will literally, we don't want that. So I'm going to end the show. I promise you, no more guests, because I know that'll really get you upset, Chase. And we don't want Jay to get mad, because we know Silas famously said a lot about that. And except for Chase. See,
listen, Silas can go pound sand. That's all I have.
You know what? He's got the gold. You wish to be him. Listen, you wish to be him. You're him where he was last year. He's going to celebrate here tomorrow on Sportswire. I'm really looking forward to Silas. He hasn't been here in over 4 months. It's been 4 months since he's been here. I'm excited for 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Please be here for that. And Zilla wanted to say hello to Silas. She loves Silas, and she wants everyone to follow these guys and these companies. But, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Rather an eventful show on Sportswire. Chase Wakefield definitely had a lot of people here for him. And if I didn't get a chance to get to you, hello to Yoshi Matsuda was here. Ace Christian was here. Says maybe you need him as a groomsman and considering what Aaron and Brandon could be dealing with each other. And everybody else that was here, thank you for tuning in. I think I missed somebody. If you're out there, I apologize, but thank everybody for coming in. Hit the sub button for us, and hit the sub button for Chase Wakefield, James Hill. Taffy's Lounge, by the way, closing in on 2,000 subs. Get your lo-fi beats with that. Somebody that James might know is involved in that. He's not involved in it, but he knows somebody involved in it. And Chase Wakefield has a YouTube channel. Hit the sub button for it. Fellas, thank you so much. Looking forward to your returns on the trampoline. We'll talk more about it in the future. And thank you, everybody, for being here for an eventful night on Sportswire Radio. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all music and all wrestling matters. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Silas Walker. Sunday night, Courtney Wood, 9:30 p.m. of Legit Alternative Wrestling. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. God bless. My prayers to the Tischler family one more time. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to James Taylor, Chase Wakefield, Comatose for coming in. Of course, the legendary ECW legend Pitbull Gary Wolf. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio Station, the Sportzwire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. And go follow DBW. Let's get them to 5,000 subs. See you tomorrow, Silas Walker. Take care.